What's up, everyone? Mr. Noob2 Gamer. Today we're playing some Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered in the year 2021. Wow, I can't believe it's been that long, almost 5 years since this remaster came out. That's fucking crazy. It feels like it just came out last year. It's crazy how much time flies. But here we are playing the game in 2021. In this commentary, we're going to talk about the state of the game after almost 5 years of it being out, and if it's worth picking up for people who never played it before. So let's start off with the actual player base. Surprisingly, this game still has a very active player base in 2021. I played this game last night at like 2 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, so it was like a really off hour, and I still had no problem finding a full lobby. So keep that in mind. So you don't have to worry if you pick up this game new, you never played it before, you don't have to worry about finding a multiplayer match, because that's the risk with buying an older multiplayer title, is that there's a chance that you won't even find a game. With Modern Warfare Remastered, you do not have to worry about that issue, but actually with the original Call of Duty 4, you do, because I imagine that most of the COD 4 players moved on to MWR and actually tried playing the original Call of Duty 4 to see if there's anyone online, and it was a very, very low number. Like, you could barely find a game. So, yeah. Everyone that's played the original COD 4, if you're one of the OGs from back in the day and you want to get back into COD 4, this is the version you gotta play. I think that there's actually a healthy player base for the original COD 4 on PC, but at least if you're a console gamer, Modern Warfare Remastered is your best bet. And of course, if you have a PS5 or a Series X, it's backwards compatible, so you don't even have to worry about dusting up your old console. No, you're good to go. Just buy the game digitally on the PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, and there's no problem. Now, as far as the PC version of Modern Warfare Remastered, from what I understand, the player base over there is pretty dead. So yeah, if you want to play COD 4 on PC, get the original COD 4. If you want to play COD 4 on console, get the remaster. That's pretty much what I'm trying to tell you. Now, as far as like what the actual experience is, how does it feel compared to like newer COD games like Black Ops Cold War or Modern Warfare 2019? How does this game hold up compared to the other ones? And that's a really interesting question to answer, because it's a remaster of a really old game, Call of Duty 4, that came out in 2007. And for 2007 standards, Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4, it really changed the game. It was one of the most revolutionary games of the entire 7th generation, and it was an amazing, innovative experience that anyone that played it back then knows exactly what I'm talking about. But compare it to more recent entries in the COD series, you can think of Call of Duty 4 as the blueprint of what would become the future of Call of Duty. So think of like Create a Class, where you can have all these different attachments, you can have all these different customizations. It's really basic in Call of Duty 4 and also Modern Warfare Remastered. You can only get one attachment on your weapon. You can't, there's no pick 10 system. There's not a lot of customization. You can change your cosmetic appearance, which you could not do in the original COD 4, but they really try to keep it as true to form as the original experience as possible, with the exception of microtransactions and supply drops. So that's another thing. That's like probably the only like really bad thing I could tell you about MWR compared to the original, because as far as like the remaster, it's a beautiful game, and it's, like, graphically speaking, it holds up very well even in 2021 standards, even though the game came out like 5 years ago. So even the remaster is getting old. But as far as like the actual gameplay experience, there's very, as far as customization goes, it's very lacking compared to newer CODs. So when you think of, how about kill streaks or score streaks, you can customize your streaks. Well, in COD 4/MWR, you only have 3 streaks that everyone has. Everyone has the same streaks. It's UAV, airstrike, attack helicopter. 3 kills, 5 kills, 7 kills. And that's pretty much all you have. So I guess it can be repetitive in that respect, because there really isn't as much variety in Call of Duty 4 or MWR as there is in, let's say, Modern Warfare 2, where there's just so much more shit that you can do in that game. But I think it's still, for someone who hasn't played it before, it's still a really solid Call of Duty experience. The gunplay is very satisfying. The maps are mostly high-quality maps compared to Cold War, where most of the maps are fucking dog shit. There's only really one bad map in Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered, and that is Wet Work. That map is fucking terrible. But every other map is pretty fucking good in this game. And a few minutes ago, I mentioned supply drops as being like the one bad thing about this game, but even that is not too bad. I mean, I hate microtransactions no matter what the circumstances are, but I would say the way they handled the microtransactions and the supply drops in MWR is a lot better than, let's say, Black Ops 3, where you actually did have RNG weapons that really affected the meta of the game. You will notice that if you're playing MWR, not a lot of people are using the DLC weapons, because even though they added a lot of guns in the game, the base weapons, like the AK-47, the M16, are still dominating the meta. So you're not like at a serious disadvantage if you don't put money into microtransactions. So that's a good thing. Even though I don't really like the whole idea of supply drops or microtransactions to begin with, they handled it a little bit better in this game than other entries in the COD series. So it's not like a big deal, even though it's annoying. So overall, would I recommend you try this game out in 2021? I would say yes. If you're a huge Call of Duty fan, it's definitely a good piece to add to your collection. The servers still work very well. You can still find multiplayer games. You can even find some domination and prop hunt. So it's not just TDM. You can actually find multiple different game modes, so it's not too repetitive, because a lot of the older Call of Duties, it's only team deathmatch. No, you can actually get a few other game modes like domination in there as well, because the player base is pretty healthy for an old game. But I will say, if you are planning on buying MWR, do not get the variety map pack. It's a total ripoff. You will not be able to find any matches on those DLC maps. And yet it is kind of shitty that they sold it separately. It should have been included in the whole remaster. But if you just stay away from it, if you don't waste your $15 on it, you'll have a good time. The base game has 10 multiplayer maps, which is still more than what we got with Black Ops Cold War and World War II when those games came out, for perspective. So it's not like there's not a lot of maps. It's a decent amount of content as long as you spend $20 or less. I think that's my recommendation for it. Like, it's a good game, but don't spend too much money on it. That's how I feel about MWR in 2021. But anyway, that's all I got for today. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.